Released shortly after its cinema run, this Indian action thriller blends everything you know about one-man army action movies, espionage thrillers, and Hollywood spoof movies. And it's a strange little package indeed. If you're a first-timer to Indian cinema, it's probably going to blow your mind. Maybe not for all the right reasons though. Hi, I'm the Artie Dance from Asian Film Fans, and let's check out the reasons you should or shouldn't watch this film. A Special Forces Commando, is some kind of unstoppable, virtually unkillable human superhero. His escapades would make any Marvel character blush. While on a one-man mission to save India, and in fact the world, from a twisted band of terrorists, he is shot in the head and loses his memory. After watching the first 15 minutes and seeing doing what he does, I really don't believe that a single bullet would stop him, but hey, I didn't write this movie. While going through the memory recovery process, discovers his life is actually a lie. He's still an awesome Special Forces commando, but he's actually an orphan called Rishi, and his father, who he thinks is dead, is not only still alive, but could potentially be a traitor to India. Some cool montages occur. Mysteriously recovers his memories and then sets about stopping Project KAVACH, which is actually a pretty cool project about creating a nuclear dome around an area to defuse a nuclear weapons strike. Honestly, that's the kind of technology we should be looking to support. Go India! The most important thing to remember while watching the rest of this video is that if action movies were realistic, then they would be very boring. So keep that in mind as we explore the elements of this film that make it an enjoyable watch. The first thing that really stuck out about this movie is that it feels like a mashup of some of the most popular action parody movies ever made. Think of if Hot Shots, MacGruber, and Kung Fury got together and had a baby. The result would be this film, with a smattering of China's Wolf Warrior 2 thrown in for good measure. Now that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, it just means that everything that happens in this film is absolutely ridiculous. It's like a standard action movie on super steroids. If you thought Wu Jing drifting a tank in Wolf Warrior 2 was awesome, well wait until you see riding a motorbike at top speed, then jumping from the seat onto a moving truck where he smashes through a strangely placed skylight and kicks the ass out of everyone in the trailer, without any of them fighting back. Or waking up from a months-long coma and getting into a fight with some badly trained bad guys, where he picks up one of the guys and throws him about 3 to 4 meters through a window. That is both hilarious and awesome. Or maybe my favorite bit. During a flashback scene where Om's team members have been caught by the enemy, one of them calls out to him. He appears out of nowhere, kills everyone on sight, rescues his team, and then finds some time to also rescue some of the village children. Ridiculous, 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 and it's fun because of it. By extension, this also means that is a pretty awesome character, as long as you take everything that happens with a grain of salt. During a normal fight, no one stands a chance against him. He's just elite. He is also one of those rare action movie characters that doesn't need to aim his gun properly to hit a target. And he also has some of the most acute awareness ever. Well, except for the bit at the start where he's shot. That bit actually goes against his character. Otherwise, I don't want to use the phrase Indian Rambo, but I'm almost very tempted to use it here. Yeah, damn it, I'm gonna say it. Is a one-man army at times, almost exactly like Rambo, but without all the cool traps and far more hand-to-hand combat. Speaking of the hand-to-hand combat, what is it exactly that does in this film? At certain stages of the film, it was threatening to turn into some kind of story of Ricky Buddha palm technique movie, with some incredible punches and attacks that just send people flying. Or such as the scene where 3 henchmen pile on poor But no, they don't stand a chance, remember? This is Indian Rambo. Indian Ricky Maybe that one sounds better. With the good comes the bad though, and for a film like this, the ridiculous might be enough to put some people completely off the film. For starters, the movie is complemented by a lot of special effects. Actually, I take that back. It's not complemented by the special effects at all. The special effects are terrible. Excessive use of green screening and composition work makes some of the scenes look very cheap, with the prime example being at the start on the boat where is shot in the head. The colour grading added to the scene goes a long way to hide the average looking effects here, but they're still very present. On top of that, the scene where the nuclear weapon defense system, or shield, or KAVACH, is being tested looks a little strange. This is strange because I would have expected decent effects from India. This is a country that virtually revolutionized TV cricket broadcasts with some impressive visuals. Spin cam, anyone? The scene where the bad guy opens up his briefcase and this whole holographic floating display pops up, it's very Minority Report and really silly. Why? Why does this system have such a complex interface? It just looks silly and adds to the overall average visual effects of the movie. Then there are the silly story elements, the unbelievable, even for an action movie, moments that had you wonder if the screenwriter really is just taking the piss. When asks the nerdy guy in their team if he can hack the high security prison's camera system, the guy just jumps on the keyboard, taps a few keys and bang, they're in. Really? That easy? Now I'm all for awesome shit in the movie, but that's just ridiculous. Add to that moments where the right things just appear at the right time. Another example being when Om's team members are captured in the Myanmar jungle and he comes to the rescue of them out of nowhere, and you know this isn't a serious story that needs your full attention. And put these two bits together and it's really going to test your patience with the film. It's over 2 hours, so it's not the usual Indian 3-hour movie length, but at some parts it does feel like it labours on for longer than it needs to. Thankfully, the two musical pieces are actually pretty enjoyable. Overall, I did find this film fun, and for a Western audience, there's something actually quite enjoyable here. In regards to action, I'd award this movie only 2 stars out of 5. I say that because there are long gaps of the film without action, and there are some really overly manufactured scenes that don't flow well. Some of the action is cartoon-like silly, which will definitely have its fans, but I also realise that there will be plenty of people who are detractors as well. In regards to the storyline, again, I'd only award this 2 stars out of 5. It's just that the story is simple but silly. There are a lot of gaps and illogical bits as well, such as a 15-year gap that is unexplained, and the disregard of the Indian government to be able to discover a random citizen firing a nuclear weapon. Not only would the Indian government be all over that, but so would half of the nations in the world, including next-door neighbour China and the good old USA. And in regards to excitement, this is actually where the movie shines. I would give this 4 stars for excitement, because it's silly. There's just so much here to keep you hooked. And as I said in the intro, if films like Kung Fury, Hot Shots and MacGruber are down your alley, then this film will fill an Indian void you didn't know existed. Overall then, I'd award this movie 3 stars. It's a slightly above average action film in the grand scheme of action movies, with a unique Indian flavour that's not too strong on the usual Indian cinematic elements. This one can be enjoyed by almost everyone, and quite frankly, Aditya Kapur, who plays Om, is pretty damn cool. If you've seen RASHTRA KAVACH Om, what did you think of it? Thank you for watching this video. Please press like if you enjoyed it and subscribe to Asian Film Fans for more action news, trailers and reviews.